Greetings, this is Chris from Tantalizing Tech. Let me try to summarize some of the Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge specifications that you saw in the video. Samsung showed how the Galaxy S25 Edge is a lighter but thinner phone than the S25 Ultra with its dimensions of 158.2 by 75.6 by 5.8 mm or 6.23 by 2.98 by 0.23 inches in width times height times depth versus 162.8 by 77.6 by 8.2 mm or 6.41 by 3.06 by 0.32 inches in width times height times depth for the S25 Ultra. Furthermore, the S25 Edge weight of 163 grams or 0.359 pounds is lighter than the S25 Edge weight of 218 grams or 0.480 pounds for the S25 Ultra. While the Galaxy S25 Edge makes improvements in depth and weight, the S25 Edge only has a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera and 200-megapixel wide-angle camera lens, while the S25 Ultra has a 50-megapixel ultra-wide camera, a 200-megapixel wide-angle camera, and a 50-megapixel/10-megapixel telephoto camera lens. In addition, the S25 Edge only has pixel optical quality zoom at 2x and up to 20x artificial intelligence or AI zoom, while the S25 Ultra has a 3x and 5x optical zoom, 2x and 10x optical quality zoom that is enabled by adaptive pixel sensor, and a digital zoom with up to 100x zoom. Furthermore, the S25 Edge has a 3,900 mAh battery, while the S25 Ultra has a 5,000 mAh battery. As of May 16th, the S25 Edge will have 24 hours of playback, while the S25 Ultra has 31 hours of playback. Also, the S25 Edge has a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display, while the S25 Ultra has a 6.9-inch Quad HD Plus display. The S25 Ultra 512GB unlocked phone will cost $1,099.99 United States dollars as of May 16th. Today, we have two new product announcements from Samsung and Nintendo. For the first product announcement that you saw, Samsung will release the Galaxy S25 Edge on May 30th. For the second product announcement that is coming up, Nintendo will release the Switch 2 on June 5th. As for our second product announcement, Nintendo will release the long-awaited Switch 2 on June 5th. Hold on to your seats while we take a look.
The Nintendo Switch 2 system can adapt to suit your situation, however you like to play. In TV mode, use the dock to play on a bigger screen. In tabletop mode, place your system however you like using the stand, and share a controller with a friend. In handheld mode, play anywhere you go. With these three play modes, you can enjoy playing whenever and wherever you want. All together, anytime, anywhere. Let's take a look at some features of Nintendo Switch 2 and how it's improved from the Nintendo Switch system. At 7.9 inches, Switch 2 has a bigger built-in screen. Here's how that compares to Nintendo Switch. The system's thickness remains the same. With approximately double the pixels compared to Switch, you can enjoy games in greater detail on the 1080p screen. The screen supports up to 120 frames per second, allowing for smoother gameplay in supported titles. The LCD screen is more vivid and supports HDR, providing more contrast between light and dark areas of the images. The all-new Joy-Con 2 controllers connect magnetically. Strong magnets keep the controllers firmly attached to the system. Detach a controller easily by pressing the release button on the back. The SL and SR buttons are bigger for greater comfort and control when playing with a Joy-Con 2 held horizontally. The left and right sticks are now larger. Each Joy-Con 2 controller can be used as a mouse, opening up even more ways to play in compatible games. Both the left and right Joy-Con 2 support mouse controls, so you can also play certain games using two mice, like this. By adjusting the audio balance between the ranges, sounds from the built-in speakers are clearer and more natural in handheld and tabletop modes. It has a built-in microphone, so you can voice chat with friends anytime via game chat. It also uses noise-canceling technology to filter sounds, so your voice will come through clearly. Even if you don't have a surround sound system, games can be enjoyed with more immersive, three-dimensional sound, as if it were coming from all around you. Place your Nintendo Switch 2 however you like with a large, sturdy stand. You can move it freely, like this. In addition to the USB-C port found on the bottom of the system, there's one on top as well. It's handy for connecting a USB-C camera or charging in tabletop mode. Nintendo Switch 2 comes with 256 gigabytes of internal storage, 8 times that of Nintendo Switch, for storing your game downloads, save data, and more. Reading and writing data is also faster. Use the Nintendo Switch 2 dock to connect to your TV and enable up to 4K resolution for compatible games. HDR is also supported in TV mode. The Nintendo Switch 2 dock has a built-in fan that keeps your system cool. This helps keep performance stable. On Nintendo Switch 2, you can play Nintendo Switch 2 games, as well as compatible Nintendo Switch games. Physical and digital games are supported.
As seen in the video, Nintendo showed that the Switch 2 has a larger screen at 7.9 inches or 200.66 millimeters with a display resolution of 1920 by 1080 with 120 Hz frames rates in handheld mode compared to the 6.2-inch or 157.48 millimeter screen with a display resolution of 1280 by 720 for the Switch 1. The weight of the Switch 2 has increased to 1.18 pounds, or 535.239 grams, while the weight of the Switch 1 was only 0.88 pounds, or 399.161 grams. The Switch 2 uses a custom NVIDIA processor, while the Switch 1 uses a NVIDIA custom Tegra X1. While the Switch 2 has 12 GB of LPDDR5X memory, the Switch 2 has only 4 GB of slower LPDDR4 memory. In terms of storage, the Switch 2 has 256 GB of Universal Flash Storage, or UFS memory that is expandable with micro SD Express card. The Switch 1 only has 32 gigabytes of memory that is expandable with micro SD Express card. The Nintendo Switch 2 will have a base price of $449.99 United States dollars as of the launch of June 5th. Although the Switch 2 has 2 to 6.5 hours of estimated battery life, the Switch 1 has 4.5 to 9 hours of estimated battery life. Also, while Switch 2 has a magnetic Joy-Con 2 controller attached with a larger mouse and C button which is used to activate the new Game Chat feature, the Switch 1 only had a sliding rail attachment for the Joy-Con 1 controller. Furthermore, the dock for the Switch 2 can manage 4K output and has a cooling fan, while the Switch 1 only has a dock for charging and TV output. Also, the Switch 2 has Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth version not published, while the Switch 1 has only Wi-Fi 5 and Bluetooth 4.1. In addition, the Switch 2 is backward compatible with many Switch 1 physical and digital games and accessories. Furthermore, the Switch 2 has a built-in microphone and game chat functionality. As for the May and June 2025 product announcements, Samsung and Nintendo definitely has some products to anticipate with the release of the Galaxy S25 Edge on May 30th and the Switch 2 on June 5th. Please check out the links below to find additional information. Thank you for watching Tantalizing Tech. I have been Chris.